Hello, YouTube. How's everybody out there this fine day? I kind of got a challenge that I got placed to me from another YouTuber. Old Path Woodworkings, I believe is how the whole thing goes, but this is the Old Path Challenge. I'll put a link down in the description of his channel. Another couple guys are going to be doing it too, and I'm trying to think. I think it was called No Worries. The challenge was called No Worries, but I'm going to go down here and dig something up I got to be working on it anyway, and I'm going to use it as my I don't know what the heck I just did, my cutters for my challenge, I guess. I'll just use these. But anyway, I'll be cutting some of this out. I'll cut it back here at my junk pile. Grabbing this thing. Oh, one thing that kind of stinks is I was out playing around and I lost my keeper pin, but I'm going to hook this up to here and I'll be right back because I can't do it one-handed. Well, I got her hooked up. Now let's take her to the shed. Well, this is what I'm going to work on today, guys. I made this drag, I don't know, several years ago. It's kind of morphed into different things. It's just a piece of pipe that's 3/8 inch thick, I can't remember exactly. And it's kind of, I had it for my lawnmower, and that's the same. And I had a pulley back here, and then had a rope that would go up to the lawnmower, and then had these roped off too. But I've changed it quite a little bit, and this piece of cable runs down the center of this tongue and comes up right here and goes up into this. I have this chain on there. I call that my like a road stage, so that all the tension isn't on this cable. That cable runs up the underneath of the four-wheeler through the tongue, and then this goes on. It's got a little roller right there, and then this goes on this little front piece that I made. This goes clear up underneath the four-wheeler and so forth, but this goes right there like that, and then this winch comes down here and then goes roughly, it's just right, I can't remember if it's right here or right behind that, and then when I hit the winch, it pulls the cable or loosens the cable and raises and lowers this. But on hard packed stuff, oh, and then there's this. This is if you take this, I wish I should have got my, oh yeah, I got a hat out here. You know, I need to go get that hat. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. This wheel, if you pull on this wheel like that, you can turn this wheel. Here, I'll get my hand on the other side. You turn the wheel, yeah, it turns the thingy, and that gives, I can drag on the road flat or not flat. But the problem I got is, like my driveway, it is hard in spots, and this is just a drag. It doesn't do anything. So I need to make me like a ripper bar, or not a ripper bar, some ripper teeth to go on the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a pull. You pull this up, you can let this go, and that falls down right to there. I'm thinking, I don't know. And then a little bit further and it'll start ripping. If that makes any sense. But I need to, that's what I got right there. That stuff right there. And I don't think I have anything long enough on that side. I'd check my junk pile. Ooh, maybe I'd be able to use that piece. And I'm thinking about having to use that sucker rod there. But I guess what this challenge is all about is men's mental health. And you know, men go through a lot of stress. I'm not saying women don't, but this is just about men, okay? And they go through stress, and you know, most guys have difficulty dealing with it, I guess. Now, one, I'll let you know, I believe in our Lord Jesus, the Son of my God, that Moses, I trust in him. I gave him my life. I don't know, truly gave him my life probably, I don't know, I could say 10 years ago and not be fibbing at all. But, you know, probably at least 10 years ago, I'd say. And now I try to just live for him. When I say try, it's because you fail at times, you know. So, I mean, because we're just men. We're not perfect. So we stumble, we fall, and Jesus catches us and accepts us back when we do our shortcomings. But that's one of the main things that how I get through any of the stress is, like I said, I trust in him, and so I pretty much for the most part live stress free. When I do find myself in difficulties or struggling, I feel it to be like demon attacks. So I believe all stress and problems, a lot of things are just, it's attacks by demons. I mean, take the sexuality of our world, that's a demon. Everything, it's all about, it's the demons. You've heard of, you know, 7 deadly sins and all that kind of good stuff. But I believe this is just demon attacks. So if I find myself, what really comforts me is when I find myself struggling, I pray that that demon has to leave me. I tell that demon it has to leave me, and I pray it in Jesus' name. Whatever that is, whether it be anger, or anything, you know. I mean, when you reach different levels in people's life of a stage that they are with God or with Christ, and not everybody's the same. He's working on each and every one of us individually, and we meet him at our own terms. Meet him where we are in life. Some people, everybody's different, and this is just how I deal with my worries, woes. You know, I don't necessarily worry because I have no reason to worry. This world is not for me. It's not my world. I'll be taken home someday, and that's how I look at it. None of this stuff is, it's, you know, the Bible says that, you know, don't store up your treasures here on earth, just store them up in heaven. So I don't treasure anything here at all. You know, maybe, you know, I am thankful for everything, but I don't let it run my life. I don't fret on money, health, any of that stuff, just because this is temporary. This is all temporary. You know, we live, what, maybe, if we're lucky, 100 years, and that's like not very long at all. So let me try to figure out on a person that is not, my hope is that a person would come to Christ and see what it's like. I mean, it's an amazing deal when you're released from the pressures, when you no longer have those worries, when you realize that this isn't for you, this world isn't yours. I know a lot of people are how should I say, non-believers. They don't believe in it. They believe in, you know, evolution, voodoo, you know, any and everything and all other different things. There's some some that say they do believe and that they are followers and yet live very sinful lives. And that's not, in order to love Jesus, you have to do what he says. If you don't do what he says, you don't truly love Jesus. And Jesus, if you see what he wants, you got to read it, and then you do what he wants. And it's difficult because this is we're in the world, and the world has all these wants and desires and all these things that just seem to be, really awesome, I mean, all these things. I don't even know where I'm going with this, to be honest. Let me try to figure this is, I don't know. It's kind of a tough one for me or a tough challenge, because I know a good majority of the people that follow me, they're not Christians, and it's okay. I love them just the same. Some of these people are my friends, or I consider friends, and I'd love for them to come to Christ. I'd love for them to find him, and maybe some of them will. Someday, they will wish that they had, but everybody has their own life to live. That's the cool thing is, when God made us, we had free choice, and that's how we fell. They followed the devil, and now here we are. We're in this great and wonderful world of sin. But I'd say, let's say, to those that they don't follow Christ, they still have their same troubles, and I'm telling you, it's demon attacks is what it is. And the devil takes great pleasure into seeing our sorrow. So what's always really funny to me is those people that say, I'm a devil worshiper, and he's going to be, he's the greatest and all that, and they don't realize that he don't give a hoot about you. And in fact, he thinks you're the biggest idiots there ever was. Because but whatever, besides the point. I've got friends that are, like I said, are not Christians. They don't follow Christ. They don't care about Christ. They don't even believe in any of it. Sometimes I find that weird, kind of hard to believe if you analyze. But I got a weird brain. I try to find truth to everything or anything. I'm just a weirdo. I got a weird brain that wants to know everything that I can learn and figure out and so forth. So, not all people are like that. They are just fine knowing what they know, and that's good. And that is good for them. That's no big deal. Everybody's, like I said, people are people. But, there's that they go through troubles, and it's hard not to dwell on the trouble. And before I was a believer, which helped me get through some of the stresses, was to just not give a hoot. I mean, I know that sounds maybe bad or whatever, but if you just don't care, it's pretty hard to get depressed or things when you just don't care. Who cares? But if you dwell on it, you definitely can't let it go. And the key is to let it go. So like me with Christ, when I, for one, cast the demon that is attacking me away from me in Christ's name, I don't think about it again. And it takes time. I mean, you might find yourself not wanting to give it up. Even if you're not a Christian, you find yourself saying, how am I going to come up with this money to pay this utility bill, and you start worrying about it instead of just saying, hey, that 500 years ago, there was no electricity and they lived. So I understand, people go, oh, but my internet or my TV or blah, blah, blah. that's another way how my brain works. Is, 500 years ago, they didn't have half this junk that we got now. So who cares? So it's who cares to me. I don't care. If I don't have the money to pay electricity bill, shut the dang thing off. I don't care. I can live without it. I've lived without it. I didn't die. In fact, it probably made me stronger. But the key is to just let it go. You gotta let your worries go, and not worry about them, because the majority of your worries, there is nothing you can do about it. Let's say your loved one's sick. There is nothing you can do about it. Let's say your bills are due, but you don't have any money. There may be nothing you can do about it. You'll get through it. I've been broke. I'm broke now. You just got to think of how to spend what little money you do got on the things you want or need or whatever. Most things are always a want anyway. You truly only need food. Well, see, there's a whole nother thing. See, I trust in Christ, so I don't even care about food, clothing, house. I don't care about none of it, because I understand that at any moment you could die. At any moment you could be called home, or however you want to look at it. So I don't worry about any of that stuff. Jesus says, he talks about, the clothing. Why worry about clothing? Look at the pretty birds and the flowers. Look, I clothe them. The birds don't store up food. Why? Because I take care of them. So he'll take care of you too, no matter what it is. But then again, with the person that doesn't believe, you're getting beat up by the devil and you just don't know it yet. And the key is to just truly just don't care. Don't give a hoot. Maybe that's not real godlike, I don't know, or Christ-like, I don't know. But if you can't pay the bill, who cares? There's going to be another bill. There's going to be another job. There's going to be another bit of money. At some point, things work themselves out. And if they don't, I try to think of how to say this, because truly, most people don't know my life at all, and I don't know nobody else's life. My life's not special. I've been through tons of different things. I've done a ton of different things, good and bad. Majority of my life, I led a very sinful life, and that's one of my struggles now, is how could my God love me with all the sin, the terribleness that I had ever done. And the nifty thing about Christ is he washes all them away, and you don't have to worry about that no more. And so it brings me to tears thinking that how terrible I ever thought I was, that I'm saved now, and that things I did doesn't matter no more. And the things I do, the only thing that matters now is that I try to stay righteous, try to walk the path that Christ has told me to walk. And I say try because you can stumble, you can fall, things happen. Some people turn to drugs. I've been a drug abuser, and I understand about drugs, to be, hopefully, I don't want to advocate them at all, but, drugs are fun. They were, per se, they were quite enjoyable. So I get it. And, some people turn to alcohol. I was drunk, on my road to death on everything, through my whole life, everything to extreme. I'm addictive type personality. I don't know. But so I've done drugs. I've done alcohol. This. So I don't think anything bad about anybody, on what you do or what you've done, because for the most part, I've done it. And I realize that it's terrible, but I don't think of other people being terrible, because we're all in a different path to Christ. We're all on, or maybe even not to Christ, but we're all on a different path. And my path is different from everybody else's path. Some may be the same, I don't know. But the thing is that guys struggle. Guys struggle with, being a guy. I know only guys really understand. Maybe some women do too. I don't know. Just like a guy might not understand all of a woman probably doesn't always understand a guy and what they think or do or however, That's why we get in the most trouble, because we're two different people. And there again, if we work together, see, to me, it all goes right back to the Bible, You do what it says and everything will be great and grand. I mean, you still go through troubles. Don't get me wrong. You still get your hand cut off or your sickness or anything like that. None of us are immune to that. It's how we cope with it. So the non-believer that deals with the drugs and so forth, it's a bad deal. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I'm not dead from some of these things. But I get it. I understand that why people do this. And that's a tough one there because, like I said, I found my strength in Christ, and he can overcome everything if you allow him, and show you path that I don't know, that where you just don't worry. But you can also, like I said, when I was younger, I've grown, through my entire life, just like everybody's grown. But I had this I really don't give a crap attitude. I really don't. I still don't. Never have. Give a crap. You got a boss that says, hey, I'm going to fire you. So screw it. I quit then. See you later. Adios. Because there's another job. Utility company says, we're going to turn your power off. Says, go right ahead. In fact, here, let me help you. And just go over and shut the dang power off yourself. Because why worry about it? There's gonna be another paycheck. You don't need a home. You don't need a house. You don't need all these things, but we worry about them because we look at the world and we see what the world expects of you. And so the world says you need designer clothes. And when we don't have designer clothes, we feel bad that we don't have designer clothes. The world says you need to eat steak and lobster. And we feel bad when we're eating bologna. The world says you're driving a $100 sled. You need a Maserati. And we feel bad that we don't have the Maserati. They say, hey, look at this person. You need to look like Hulk Hogan. And we feel bad that we don't look like Hulk Hogan. The world says it's bad to be skinny or it's bad to be fat and all these things. And we worried about what the world thinks of us. And we worry that we don't have what everything in the world tells us we need to have and so forth. When the world's the enemy. And we don't realize the world's the enemy. I mean, even to a non-believer, the world's the enemy. You work hard to get a fancy car, and it still you might find some short pleasure in it, but it's not the pleasure that you're really truly looking for. Because most people, they make payments on everything. A long time ago, my grandpa told me, long time ago, he says, there's only really one thing that you should ever make a payment on, and that's your house. You buy some land, you can make a payment on that. It's the only thing that will appreciate in time. You go buy a car, tomorrow it's worth less. 10 years from now, it's even worth less. In fact, 10 years from now, it's really destined for the junkyard because they're junk. Everything's junk. But we make payments on these things, and then we worry about the payment. We worry about how we're going to make the payment to keep the thing that makes everybody think that we're something, because we worry about what other people think about them, And the key is to just not give a hoot, Who cares if you're fat? Who cares if you're skinny? The only person that matters is what you think. So when you're getting, beat up or however you want to look at, and you turn to alcohol to drown your sorrows, as they say, does it work? Yeah, it works. To a degree. You forget about it for, I don't know, the length of time that you're drinking, unless you're a drinker where you drink all day long, and then most generally you seem normal all day until you get off work and you start hammering them more, and you gotta, it just makes things worse because it doesn't ever go away. You gotta face your demons. You have to confront them, and or not give a crap. Somebody says, "Ah, you big fat pig." Either you are going to get upset with it and cry about it, or you're going to say, "I really don't give a crap what you think. I don't care if I'm fat." Or you're going to say, "You know what? I'm tired of people calling me fat, or I want to do something." If you're sad about being something, you got to change your life. That's all there is to it. You got to change your life. That's the whole thing. Even with Christ, you have to change your life. You can't go whoring. You can't go, doing these, what I'm saying, well, it's all stages, but you can't get drunk no more. I mean, you can still drink, but you're not supposed to be a drunkard. And people say, "Well, that doesn't sound like any fun." But once you find Christ and figure out there's a whole different thing to be I can't wait to die. That's why, I don't give a crap about dying. I don't worry about it. For one, time's near, and it's nearer for some than others. But when you realize where you're going and what's going to be like, this world really stinks. I have a good life, or I think. Some people wouldn't think so, but you got to be comfortable where you're at. I don't, like I said, I've never really cared. I don't care if I don't have a home. I don't care. I can live under a tarp. I can live under a bridge. I could live in a cave. It doesn't bother me because there's so much more to life than the things we put value in. The things we put value in, they mean absolutely really nothing. It really doesn't. But sorry, I don't mean to keep drawing back to the Bible. So to the guys that don't believe in any of that, still just got to get back to saying, see, it's hard for me to understand what to speak on because there's so many different troubles. Just think of it money-wise, I guess. You can't look, as the story goes, keeping up with the Joneses. If you look at the Joneses, there's going to be another Joneses. So you live in a tent and you want the trailer. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses, but as soon as you get into the trailer, you're looking at somebody that's in a trailer house. And then you're going, now I want to keep up with the trailer house. Now I'm in a trailer house, but now there's a home. Oh, now I'm in a home, but now I want it bigger, better. Because, good grief, you could look at the new president. He's got gold toilets from what I hear. Now, I'm a bet you money that he says, I want more. There's something more. I want to be the richest man in the world. I want more. And if you get upset with not having more, then you can't even enjoy what you have. So the key is just to be thankful for what you got. And don't worry about the dang Joneses. Do what you can do. People always, they say, oh my God, look at the poor homeless. Look at the poor homeless. That's so terrible. They got a pretty, I've been homeless. So I know what it's like to live under a bridge, so to speak. Did I like it? Yep, sure did. You know why? Because I just don't care. Because I know that tomorrow, that there's always going to be a better tomorrow. The storm don't last forever. And if you cry about the storm will last longer. So whatever your woes may be, now granted, if you're drunk or addicted to drugs or addicted to alcohol, there's a little different story. Because you definitely got demons in you, and they don't want to let go. They won't let go easy, and it's a little bit tougher because then there's I don't know, the habit and so forth that goes with that. But you can do it. I've done it. You can do it. Is it easy? No, it's not. But the nifty thing is don't dwell on your failure. So whatever it is, if you're trying to beat drugs and you're doing it, and let's say you only make it a day, hey, that's one day, man. And one day is awesome. Don't cry about you didn't make it two. Stop again and try to go for at least another day. Don't make it. I know that's probably the complete opposite of what anybody else would say. Because you stop drugs, you don't ever do them again, or you stop drinking, don't ever do them again, and that's the only way you succeed. I don't know what they say, because I did it all on my own. But if you make it one day, that's kick butt. Even if the next day you stumble again, it doesn't matter what it is. You just keep trying to do, and don't cry about it. Don't worry about it. So really all I got to say is you just can't worry. If you don't let things go, you'll never, ever make it. The only way to make it is to let things go. That's the only way. You got to let it go. And don't care about what anybody else is doing. Who cares what anybody else is doing? You be you. You're an individual with your own separate fingerprints, your own separate DNA. You are not me. I am not you. We are two totally different people, way different. So you're you, be you, and go on that route. So I don't know exactly. I know this isn't how this was maybe supposed to go. I don't know. I'm just saying my 2 cents on it. I'm sure that some of you that are listening, it'll help you, because people worry, and it's tough not to worry until you figure out how to not worry. I know if you find Christ, worry's a lot less. The ones that haven't found Christ, I beg of you to truly search for him. The ones that say, I don't believe in it, I beg of you to look into it. Time is short, my friends, and I don't want to see any of you die. I know a lot of people are going to die, and I don't want to see anybody die. So, those that are saying, hey, you're at your last straw, maybe, and you need that help, Jesus is there for you. And all you got to do is truly ask him into your heart. Just ask him into your heart, open yourself up, and turn yourself over. And from that point on, don't look at it as what are you doing in this life. Look at it as what is it that Jesus tells me to do. You may have to learn. You may have to read. You may have to become friends with somebody that is a follower or that can help guide you. So another thing, if you find yourself and you're around people that are always down, always bitching, always complaining, you need to run from them people. Them people will keep taking you down. You'll never get ahead. You'll never be happy. You want to surround yourself by happier people, uplifting people. And if you can't, just be by yourself. Being by yourself isn't all that much. Isn't that big a deal. It kind of sucks, but it's nothing you can't live through. But I do ask you, try to find Jesus. Just ask him into your heart. He'll be there for you. Learn, listen to him, and your life will change. Like, yeah, I can't even explain how my life's changed. It's an amazing thing. It truly is. But the ones that don't believe, don't any of that stuff, the best I can tell you is, one, you just don't give a hoot. Don't care. You don't care if you're broke. You don't care if you don't have a car. Don't care about it. Don't care about it, and all will be good. And drop whatever you're dwelling on. If you're dwelling on money, quit. If you're dwelling on, just gotta quit. That's all I can say. I know it sounds hard, but it's not. If you just say, who cares? And just don't care about it. You know? Say, I don't care, and I don't care. It'll go great. I'm telling you, even without Christ, you're going to die, but if you get to the point where you just don't care, you don't care about these things, then you'll realize, you'll say, why did I care about them to the begin with? This is so silly of me to give a hoot about these things that I can't take with me when I croak. But, woo, did you hear that thing going by? But that's the best I can say. I don't know if I did well for Old Path or not. Please check out his channel. Maybe he'd be able to help you through. You know, you can always reach out to me too if you need to. I mean, I don't have all the answers, you know. I'm just a normal dude trying to figure stuff out myself, you know. But I'm going to get back to this thing and see about how to make this little raker thing. So what I would probably do is shut you off, and I don't know how long this video is, so this is probably way long anyway, and probably bored everybody already, but I'm going to turn around and try to figure out some pieces on here. I'll be back.